Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to everyone. So this video will explain to you the introduction to Java Enterprise Edition, or also known as Java EE. So let's look at the outlines of this chapter. First one is overview of Java EE platform. Number 2, role of application servers. 3, Java EE architecture. In this case, we will look at MVC and also Spring. And number 4 is Java EE patterns. And last one, the Java EE components such as web components and EJB. So let's start with the overview of Java EE platform. So the Java Platform Enterprise Edition, also known as Java EE, actually is the standard in community-driven enterprise software. It is developed using Java community process with contribution from industry expert, commercial and open source organization, Java user groups, and countless individuals. Actually, it's come from community. Each release integrates new features. It has new features that align with industry needs, community needs. It improves application portability and also increases developer productivity. Okay, so the other advantage or advantages of Java EE, so it designed to help developers create what? Large scale, multi-tiered, scalable, reliable, and also secure network application. So actually, the benefits of Java EE are helpful and essential for individual developers or small organizations in increasing the network world and their productivity. So the Java EE platform is designed actually to reduce the complexity of enterprise application development by providing development model, okay, or API and runtime environment that allows developers to concentrate on functionality on what they want to develop. Okay, so today Java EE offers a rich enterprise software platform, and with over 20 compliant Java EE implementation for you to choose. So right now, currently Java EE is in 8th edition. So its theme is modernization and simplification. Okay, so what's new in Java EE 8? Actually, it continues to improve the API, the models, the pattern to provide the features that requested by worldwide community. And then this release modernizes support for many industry standards and continuous simplification of enterprise-ready APIs. So actually, it enhanced the features and also improve the API which have been introduced before. Okay. Okay, next. So what are the enhancements in Java EE 8? So if you click here, so it provide Java Servlet 4.0 with API, enhanced JSON support, including a new JSON binding API, and much more additional features that we can use in our application development. Okay, so next, so let's look at the important keywords in Java EE. So the first one is JSON, which also known as JavaScript Object Notation. So actually it is what? A syntax for storing and exchanging the data. Okay, JSON is text written with JavaScript Object Notation. So another keyword is called API. So API actually is the acronym for Application Programming Interface. Actually, it's a software intermediary, okay, in the middle tier that allows two applications to talk with each other. So actually, it's just a middle person or middleware between two applications to communicate with each other or request anything among them. Okay, for example, each time you use an application like Facebook, send an instant message or check the weather on your phone, actually you are using an API. Okay. Okay, the next keyword is called REST or representational state transfer. So REST API actually uses HTTP requests to get, put, post and delete data. Actually, it's a technology used in web services development. The REST used by browsers can be thought of as the language of the internet. So RESTful APIs are used by such sites such as Amazon, Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Okay. Other keyword that we will learn in Java EE is called SCDI event, also known as context and dependency injection. Actually, is the standard dependency injection framework of the Jakarta EE platform. Okay, so the CDI event actually manages a list of all listeners and decides which one to call whenever an event is fired, which means actually it's a manager to choose or select which listeners, which class, which program that need to be called when the users request a function to the application. Okay, so let's look at the differences between Java SE and also Java EE. Okay, so Java SE API provides the core functionality of the Java programming language. And then the Java EE platform actually is built on top of the Java SE platform. So which means you still need the Java SE before you develop the Java EE. So Java SE, it defines everything from the basic types and object of the Java programming language to high-level classes that are used for networking, for security, database access, graphical interface, and also XML parsing. So Java SE platform also consists of a virtual machine, development tools, deployment technologies, and other class libraries and toolkits commonly used in Java technology applications. So however, Java EE, the platform of Java EE provides an API and runtime environment for developing and running very large scale, multi-tiered, scalable, reliable, and secure network application. Actually, Java EE is an enhancement of the Java SE. Okay, so let's look at the Java EE architecture. Java EE application development actually concentrate on the middle tier to make enterprise application management easier, more robust, and more secure. Basically, there are three tiers in Java EE architecture. Okay, so in a multi-tiered application, the functionality of the application is separated into isolated functional areas, which means each tier has their own function, okay, has their own rules, okay, in making the application completed and well executed. Okay, typically multi-tier application has client tier, middle tier, and also data tier. Okay, the data tier also often called the enterprise information system tier. Okay, the client tier consists of a client program that makes the request to the middle tier, which means the first tier is called as client tier. This client tier will make the request to the middle tier. So middle tier actually is the business function that handle client requests. So whatsoever requests obtained from the client tier will be handled by the middle tier. And this request will be sent to the third tier, okay, which is the tier that we call as data tier. Usually in the third tier, all the data is being stored in the database. Okay. All right. So this is an example of the Java EE architecture that consists of 3 levels of tiers. Start from the client tier that requests anything. From the middle tier, this is the business tier, which will handle all the requested by sent by the client. And then the middle tier will manage or process the request, and then will access the data or request the data from the database tier, or also known as EIS tier. Okay, so this is another example of Java EE architecture. Okay, consists of 3 tier. Okay, so this is the client side. Okay, middle tier here, also known as server side or business logic side or business tier. And last one is enterprise information system, which store the data of the application. Okay. All right. So this is the detailed explanation of the client tier. Basically, the client tier make the request to the server. Okay. Client tier can be a web browser, standalone application, or other servers, and they run on different machines from the Java EE server. Okay. Okay, so next we have web tier. Web tier consists of components that handle the interaction between client and business tier. So what are the web tier do? Okay, generates content in various formats, collect input from the users, control the flow of screen or pages, maintain the state of data, and perform some basic logic and hold some data temporarily in Java Beans component. Okay, so these are several technologies used in web tier: servlet, Java server faces, JASP, that we will learn in the next following chapters, Java Bean and many more. Okay. Next, we go to this middle tier, which is called business tier. Okay, so in this tier, it consists of components that provide the business logic for an application. So for example, it's contain code that provides functionality to a particular business domain, such as financial industry or an e-commerce site, and then actually it is the core functionality exists in the business tier. So if you want to know what are the business or the core function of the application, we must look at the business tier. Okay, so some of the technologies used in the business tiers, as you can see here: enterprise Java Bean, Java Persistent API, Java EE Managed Bean, and many more. Okay. Okay, so the third tier, which is called Enterprise Information System, EIS tier, okay, consists of database servers. It stored data, enterprise resources planning, system, and other legacy data source, such as mainframe. Why mainframe? Mainframe can handle or store large data. Okay, so these resources typically are located on separate machine. Yes, they are not stored in the same or located in the same machine with the middle tier or client tier. Actually, we store into the server, Java EE server, and accessed by components on the business tier. Okay, some of the technologies that being implemented in the EIS tier, okay, JDBC, Java EE connector architecture, and many more. Right? Okay, now we move on to the Java EE recent architectures. So there are 2 recent architectures that people or developers usually use in developing Java EE application. So the first one is called as MVC, or also known as Model View Controller. Actually, it is a design pattern is a pattern that we can use to design our application that will separate the business logic, presentation logic, and also the data. Okay, so controller actually acts as an interface between view and the model. So controller intercept all the incoming requests. So controller actually is a middle part between the model and also the view. Okay, next pattern or recent architectures is called a Spring. Okay, Spring is an open source application framework. It's a framework that you can follow when you want to develop Java application, not dependent on any programming model. So Spring Framework has become very popular among Java programmers, and Spring Framework acts as a replacement or an addition to Java's own EJB, or also known as Enterprise Java Beans. Okay, so we just proceed this activity. You can try it later. Okay, next, we want to look at the role of application servers. Okay, so in this case, we call as Java EE servers. So Java EE servers actually is a server application that implements the Java EE platform. Okay, and then provide the standard Java EE services. Okay, they serve the application data to the clients, means it stores the data and it provides data to the client. It's much like web servers, serve web pages to the web browsers, something like that. It's just a server. Okay. And then Java EE server provides services to these components in the form of the container, means it's inside the container. If the container contains a lot of data or resources that need to be accessed by the client. Okay. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, Java EE server here. Then who will request the data from the Java EE server? Actually from the client tier. All right. Okay, what else? Okay, some of Java application servers. You can use Glassfish server, Wildfly, Jonas, JBoss, and the most popular servers is called Apache Tomcat. Okay. Okay, so let's look at other Java EE patterns. Okay, what is meant by Java EE patterns? Actually, description of communication objects and classes that are customized to solve general design problems. Patterns actually being used to solve the issue of design the web application. So they simplify or they guide developers on how to develop the system by providing the patterns. Okay. So a collection of Java EE based solution to common problems actually it address recurring problems found in enterprise class system intended to meet quality of service characteristics could be considered as best practice. Means what? Is provide a standard for the whole developers who wants to create Java application. So you must follow the patterns or the standard that been provided by the Java EE. Okay. And also Java EE patterns is a solution architecture and technology focus. So what are the benefits? Provide insight into how to solve distributed enterprise application, and but built using a layered or tiered approach to software, and many are still applicable. So okay, but Java EE patterns not all apply in every situation. It depends on what kind of problem that you want to solve and you want to develop. Okay. Okay, so okay, this one shows you the Java EE patterns relationship between presentation tier, business tier, and the integration tier. Okay. So this one, the Java EE patterns, tiered software solution. They provide 5 tiered here. Start with client tier, presentation, business, integration, and resource. Just now we looked at Java EE has 3 fundamental tier, client, middle tier, and also data tier. But it also can be divided into 5 detailed tier. Okay, all right. So these are the explanation. What are the function of each tiers? If you can see there, client, of course, represent all device or system client access the system. In presentation tier, it will encapsulates all the presentation logic requires to service client accessing system. Primarily, we generate the HTML, means what? It's make it more detailed. Okay, and then in the business tier, it will encapsulates the business services which provide the business logic required to perform client requests. And integration tier is responsible for communicating with external resources that provide things like persistent. And last one, resource tier represent the external resources or represent the location or the servers, okay, that store the data that are needed by the client. Okay, so inside the presentation tiers, what are the pattern that can be used? Okay, are listed here, so you can see one by one. Okay, same goes to business tier. What are the pattern provided? Okay, integration tier patterns. Okay, where we want to create the integration tier. So what are the patterns that we can use, such as data access and many more. Okay, so however, there are some issues related to Java EE pattern. The first one actually is based on early Java EE technology. Things have matured and progressed since it was released in 1999, long time ago. Application servers has been optimized. Trend is so flattened to increase the performance. And following the structure of the pattern can create a bloated system, cause undue or inappropriate development costs, and difficult to perform. Okay, there are some issues, okay, regarding to EE patterns, right? So let's look at the Java EE components. So what are the components of Java EE? So actually, there are 3 Java EE components: application clients and applets. And then we have Java servlet, Java server faces, and Java server pages technology. Okay, and actually this one is the web component and run on the server. And last one is EJB or enterprise Java beans component. Okay, run on the server. So Java EE components actually is a self-contained functional software unit that is assembled into a Java EE application with its related classes and files and communicates with other components. Okay. So Java EE components actually are written in the Java programming language and compiled in the same way as any program in the language. So however, the difference between Java EE components and standard Java classes are Java EE components are assembled into a Java EE application and verified to be well-formed and in compliance with the Java EE specification. Java EE components also are deployed to production where they are run and managed by the Java EE server. Everything are managed by Java EE server. Okay, so these are the components of Java EE. Where are the components are located? In which tier? So let's say in client tier, we have web browser, web pages, application client, and so on. In Java EE server contains JSP pages, servlet, Java beans, and so on. Okay. And last one, we have EIS tier. Okay, that consists of the database and legacy system. Okay, so the containers. What are the components include inside the container? So you can look here in the client machine. There is one container there, application client container, and then in Java EE server consists of two containers, web container and also EJB container. So inside the container consists of the components. Let's say web container, there are servlet and JSP page components, and inside the EJB container consists of enterprise B components. Okay, so you can look at the function of each of the component here, right? Okay, so the explanation of Java EE containers. Actually, what are the containers? There are interface between the component and the lower level functionality. So we must include the container to let the component and the lower level functionality be communicated, okay, or can be accessed by each other. Okay, and then the web container, a web component can be a servlet or Java server facelet page or a JSP page. Means what? If we want to make the client and also middle tier or web tier being communicate with each other, so we need this container such as JSP or Java server faces to make them communicate and request to each other. Okay, so what is the function of application client container? The application client container is the interface between Java application client, which are special Java SE application that use Java EE server components and the Java EE server. Okay, interface between Java EE application client, between the client and also between the server. So how about the EJB container? Actually, is the interface between enterprise B, which provide business logic in Java EE application, and the Java EE server. Okay, it run on Java EE server and manage the execution of an application enterprise. So actually, this explanation is for the diagram that I have shown you previously. Okay, so okay, let's look at the past, present, and future of Java EE component. Okay, currently we are here at Java EE 8 actually. So as you can see, each of the extension or enhancements of the component, as you can see, it's become more and more API and also additional components being included each of the version of Java EE. Okay. Okay, so you also can try this activity later. Differentiate the following Java application server. Okay, so you also can refer this frequently answered question at our slide. So I'm not going to go through all this. Okay, so you can revise back what is meant by Java EE. Okay, what is the standard platform? What does it constitute? Okay, and then what is meant by containers? Okay, more explanation on what we have discussed earlier. Okay, what are the container, the services? What is a typical Java EE application? Okay, the support component that being implemented nowadays recently in the industry. Okay, so you can read our slide later. So also in the slide provide to you Java EE SDK for how to start or how to install the Java EE SDK. Okay, also being provided here. Okay, right, the Java programming language platform. Okay, so what are the platform? So there are 4 platforms of the Java programming language: Java SE, Java EE, Java ME, and also Java FX. But we in this class only consider Java Platform Enterprise Edition. Alright, so the explanation of the each platform. Okay, and then last activity is discuss 2 recent Java EE architectures which have been shown you before. What is MVC and also what is Spring. Alright, so that's all. Thank you.